Will you grab him? Hi everybody. Whenever you get in here, just give me a shout. That way I know people are on here. Okay, good. We were having a little bit of difficulty getting on. I'm eating a little cutie. So I have a lot of questions written down that have been given to me. So I'm going to go over those. I'll even show you. Yeah, I know. I can eat a lot of these. Like I can eat maybe, I don't know, 6 in one sitting. There's some that are bigger than these. These are little. Raiden loves these too. I sneak them in whenever I make Silas food because he thinks that they're sour. People that are joining, just let me know that you're in here. And then in like at 9:30, I'll start answering questions. Hey, Dad. If you didn't hear me at 9:30, in like 2 minutes, I'm going to start answering these people's questions. So I'm just waiting for more people to get in here. What has been the hardest thing for me? Well, I guess I try not to make things so hard. But if I had to choose, it probably, I don't know, I guess maybe adapting to the special needs world. I don't know, I feel like I really don't make things hard. Hey, Shelby. Yes, this is actually my second one. I can't eat anymore. How do you cope with it? Well, I go to church. I recently started going to a community group at church, so that actually really helps me a lot. Or actually 2 community groups. One is for everybody, and then the other one is for special needs parents. And so that one is more kind of like a support group, and that one really helps me a lot. Having family that live close here, that really helps too. But it's definitely hard. I can see your questions, Dad, if that's what you're asking. But I can't hear you. Can you hear me though? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Hold on. How has Silas adapted to going to church and being around other kids? So this church that we've been going to, we've tried a lot of churches here, and this church in particular, the children's ministry lady, she actually called me or texted me and asked to meet with me before, or gave me a tour before I go. And so she did, and it was mainly for the Wonderfully Made, for the special needs support group, but I asked her other questions, about the Sunday service and stuff like that. And so she said, "Oh, you're looking for a home church?" So I said, "Yes." So she said, "Okay, well, next week when you come, I want you to stay in the classroom with Silas. That way you can see how he does and how the teachers respond to him and stuff like that." And the first time, Silas, he liked it, but he, I could tell that he was a little nervous or a little off or something. So he did okay. He was really tired, and with being around other children, he was kind of freaked out a little bit, but overall he did good. And we've been going for, I think, like 6 months now, and he absolutely loves it. His teacher, the one that is with him, he loves her, and her husband's in there too, so they're in there together. And Silas has made lots of friends. He recently made 2 friends last Sunday. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to get all up in the phone. I can't see that far though. How do other kids in church get along with Silas, and how does Silas like them? So the first few times that we went to church, the kids would just stare at Silas, but really wouldn't pay no mind to him. But as they, I guess, got to know him, and as often as we go, they all, well, not all of them, but they run up to him and they're like, "Hi, Silas," and Silas laughs and everything. By the time we're in the classroom, he's always smiling. Okay, I'll answer that question in a second. Let me wash my hands because they're sticky. How do you feel about family not getting to know the boys? So, I can be very negative about this, or I can be very positive. So I'm just going to go with being very positive because, I mean, everybody's watching, right? I mean, it's their loss, honestly. It used to bother me. I used to get really upset. But there's no point because all that it's doing, it's just eating me inside, so why am I going to get upset? But, I mean, I wish more of my family and more of John's family would come around, not make excuses. I mean, yeah. So overall, it's their loss because they're missing out on two special little boys. Okay, I'm gonna answer some of these questions that people have asked. So recently I did start a GoFundMe page for Silas. So a question was, why did you start the GoFundMe page? So the reason is because there are intensive therapies that I would love to take Silas to. They're just really expensive and insurance does not pay for them. There's a few that I found out of state, like a day away. There was one that I found in New Hampshire. There's been a few that I found in California, some in Austin. So I just put them on a wait list for right now. Sorry. I just put them on a wait list right now, and whoever calls me first, and that's the one that we will go to. And also there is equipment that I would like to get him that also insurance does not pay for. So yeah, that's the main reason. I don't really have a deadline, just whoever can donate or whoever has the means to do it, then that would be great. And the intensive therapy is 3 weeks long, Monday through Friday, anywhere between 2 to 5 hours, just depending on what the therapist think that Silas can do. But for one of them that he has gotten signed up for, it's oh my gosh, I can't even talk right now. Intensive therapy for physical therapy, occupational therapy, the neurosuit, they call it the spider cage, which he is in a thera suit. There's an exercise, it's called CME, which I don't know how to pronounce that word, but yeah, you can look at those up and just kind of see what they do. But that's why I started it, for that reason. And to go along with another question with this, I do plan on doing other fundraisers. At the beginning of next month, or probably in the middle of next month, I'm going to launch a t-shirt sale. I have personally made these t-shirts myself. So whenever I do that, I'll link the link on Silas's page and also on my social media. That way you can go check it out, and if you want to get one, that would be awesome. There's going to be 3 different types of apparels and colors. So yeah, and it's going to be super easy. All you have to do is go to the link, order it in your size, and it will actually get shipped directly to you. You don't have to send me the money or anything like that. That way you know what it's going to. So I hope I made that pretty clear. Okay. What therapies will Silas be getting when you decide where you want to go? Well, that depends on the therapist. Whatever's going to benefit him, really, I don't really care. And whatever he can do and tolerate. There's one that I would really love to go to. It's called Napa, and they're apparently really, really good. So whatever they recommend, that's what we'll do. But anything different than what he's doing right now, we'll be good. Yeah, I hope these streams help you understand us a little bit more. Okay. So remember, I am not a medical expert. I just want to throw that out there before I answer any of these questions. I do all of this through, like I said before in the other Q&A, if you haven't watched it, through research, doctor's appointments, therapies, everything like that. Okay. What kind of things do you do with Silas? We do a lot of things. We one of my favorite things that I do with him is we go to the movies whenever there's a movie out. And here in town, they do sensory-friendly movies, and so they do it really early in the morning, which is amazing because Silas is a morning person. So we'll do that, and we do it maybe once a month, or if there's a movie that he likes, we'll do that. We go to the park if it's not too hot. Whenever he's out in the heat, it can trigger seizures, so we just have to be careful. When we go out of town, we go to the zoo or like a botanical garden or aquarium. Let's see. What else do I do? I can't even think of anything right now. Well, I can't think of anything at the moment. Well, besides what I told y'all. Okay. Does Silas sleep in his own room with you? Or I'm sorry. Does Silas sleep in his own room or with you? Okay, so Silas has started sleeping in his own room for about 6 to 7 months now. Before that, and mind you, he is going to be 5 years old in October. He has slept with us the entire time. But since we have another kid, it's kind of hard for all 4 of us to be in the same bed. So Silas actually really loves being in his own room because he gets the option to watch TV, listen to music, or just lay there in silence. So yeah, he sleeps in his own bed. He sleeps in a twin bed. And if you have not seen his bedtime routine, you should go check it out, because then you get to see his bed and his pillow and stuff. There was somebody that asked a question. What's Silas's favorite thing to do? Oh, I would say probably just chill. Chill at home. He likes to go for walks. This summer, I guess, or spring, whatever. We've been going outside at night to whenever we take the dogs for walks, and he seems to enjoy it. It relaxes him. How is Silas at his therapies? He does pretty good overall. It's either going to be a hit or miss whenever we do go. Either he is in a fantastic mood when we go, and then once he starts working, he gets in a really bad mood. But overall, I'd say that he works really hard. So I'm really proud of him. This actually past week, he worked super, super hard. He was pretty much telling his therapist that he wanted to stand up and walk, and that's exactly what they did. And he did really good in his speech, so that was pretty nice. After that, he was wore out. He fell asleep. How old is Silas? Silas will be 5 on October 1st. He was, he'll be 5 in October. How does Silas act when he doesn't want to do therapy? That's actually funny. Sometimes I get mad at him, but he he tenses up and he'll become vocal, or he'll just like stiffen up hardcore where the therapist cannot bend his arms or can't do anything. And his facial expression is really funny because he gets all mad. But I mean, I don't tell him, hey, stop. Like, I keep on telling him, hey, you need to do it, buddy, or else you're gonna get a spanking. Is there somewhere there where they have a story time, like at a library or Barnes and Noble? I'm not sure. I've actually never checked that out. I know on Facebook, sometimes they'll have like sensory stuff going on at the library, but I have never taken him or gone or anything. But that's a good question. I'll have to check that out. I mean, we have gone to Barnes, but just to go look for books for myself. And normally when we do go to Barnes, I get dropped off because John does not like to go. He hates it. How have you managed your time to fit in his needs? Well, I basically have to work around his schedule. I don't make my own schedule. So whatever kind of day he's having, that's just what we'll do, and we'll just take it from there. At first, though, it was pretty difficult to manage to do things or even make a routine, I guess you could say. But you gotta do what you gotta do because no one else is gonna do it for you. Does he have a special diet? No, he does not have a special diet. I do puree his food, so I guess maybe you could say that's a special diet. I don't know. But, I mean, he eats pretty much everything we eat. If he doesn't like it, what I do is I just put it in his Mickey button because I'm not going to waste that food. If you know me, I love food and we ain't going to throw it away. And I'm hoping that we will do a video of me making all his food and pureeing it and stuff like that. That video will probably, or the live stream, I'm sorry, will probably be a little longer. It takes me like 2 to 3 hours to cook him food. And I'm sitting at the table right now, you can't see it, but the table's pretty big and the table gets full of food and his little packets, which I'll show you all the packets when I do that. They're pretty cool. Well, I'm glad you came, Thor. It's nice to meet you. In a short way, what happened to him? So it was a traumatic birth injury. It could have been prevented. During my pregnancy, he was a normal kid and everything, and at delivery, he got stuck in the birth canal for 45 minutes. The doctor handed over something to the resident, which I don't even remember them telling me that was going to be there. That resident was stupid and let the forceps go, and so Silas got sucked back into the canal. When that happened, it cut off oxygen and blood to his brain, and when he was born, he was dead. So they had to do everything they needed to keep him here on this earth. And so his diagnosis is HIE, which is hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. And basically, like I said, it's no blood or oxygen to the brain, and when that happens, the brain pretty much dies. I mean, his brain got destroyed. He's asleep right now, or else I would have him be in this video. But he has about 10% or less of his brain. So whenever you look at his MRI, the complete brain is black, which means it's dead. And in his medical records, it shows that he should be a vegetable. They told me whenever we left the hospital, because he was in the hospital for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and they told me that it would just take time to see what he's going to be capable of doing. So time, you have to have patience. So I hope that answered that. What is a Mickey button? So a Mickey button, the Mickey button is the button itself, but he has a G-tube. It goes directly into his stomach. He had to surgically get that put in. And the reason why is because when he was in the NICU, he was aspirating and choking on the milk. And so that's kind of bad. So he couldn't keep anything down. He didn't have no sucking, swallowing, or breathing reflexes. And us as adults, we suck, swallow, breathe at the same time, and he didn't have that. So they had to put the Mickey button in. Thank you. Some people that have watched say that I get nervous, but I don't. It's not that I get nervous when I answer these questions. I hate to relive what happened, so that's why I pause a lot, and then I start sweating, because it's just, I don't want to think of that, you know. Okay. How do you know when he is full or hungry? Okay, so the way that we know when he's hungry is he will open his mouth, and he definitely understands what we're saying. And so instead of saying, "Do you want food?" we talk to him in Spanish and say, "¿Quieres papa?" which it means, "Do you want food?" in English. And he'll open his mouth. Or a really easy way of knowing is just tapping the top of his lip, and if he opens it, that means he's hungry. If he doesn't, then he doesn't want food. And he'll act crazy when he's hungry. And then knowing when he's full, he'll just keep his mouth closed, or he'll start making faces like a gagging type face or a gross face. How do you run errands or go to appointments with both boys? Man, it's tough. It's really, really hard. But I do it because I have to do it, because everybody's at work. But whenever Raiden was a baby, I would wait for someone to come over here and help me, because I had Silas in his stroller, and then I had a baby car seat before I got the attachment to Silas's stroller. But now that he's older, or now that Raiden's older, I can just stick him underneath Silas's stroller, or put on his adapter, and we just go from there. Whenever we do go to therapies, Raiden does act up, so it's really hard. I don't really get to be all in on his therapy because I'm focusing on him. And then whenever we go to doctor's appointments, I mean, they're pretty good because we're in and out. But yeah, it's really hard, especially whenever everyone's working. How are the boys when they are together? They love each other for sure. Silas gets annoyed with Raiden like any brother would. Whenever he's crying, because Raiden is a big crybaby. So when he cries a lot, Silas starts getting this nasty face on him, and he's like, "Shut up, do something with him." But overall, Silas does really, really well with him. He loves whenever we're on the floor and we're playing and stuff. What was one moment with Silas that really surprised you? Oh man, that's a hard one because there's a lot of moments. But I would have to say the very beginning. So when he was 6 weeks old, we had gone to go get an evaluation for feeding therapy, and the feeding therapist that saw him, she pretty much said that there's no way that this child would ever be able to eat by mouth. Something apparently about his palate up top or something like that. So I was like, okay, you know what? This lady don't know what she's talking about. She obviously don't know Jesus. So I was like, okay. So he had appointments down in Fort Worth, Texas, and we go there a lot. And so at that time, I was pumping because he wasn't able to latch on. So I told John, I was like, okay, so we're going to be here an entire week, and this little boy is going to learn how to suck, swallow, and breathe at the same time. So while we were there, man, it was really hard. But I worked with him, and finally he started sucking, breathing, swallowing at the same time while I was nursing him. So I was like, oh man. So that whole week I nursed him, which was a miracle because he wasn't supposed to do that, you know? So then when I got home, I was like, okay, if he can nurse, then he can drink from a bottle. So we went to Babies R Us. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. So we went to Babies R Us. We got different bottles, and there was one bottle. I can't even think of what the name is, but it was a lifesaver. And he started drinking from a bottle. Like, how amazing is that? After people have told you that he will not be able to drink from a bottle or drink anything at all. So that was one of the very first moments that he really surprised us. But I can go on and on with all these moments. But that one was our number one, or our first one, really. Is Silas excited about his YouTube page? I think so. He likes to be the center of attention, which is pretty cool. Right now, if you just got in, he's sleeping. It's 10 o'clock, so I normally put him to bed at 9. Sorry, the baby's moving the chair. Okay, say hi everyone. This is Raiden. He is going to be 10 months on Saturday. Right, yeah, 10 months. Say hi. I hope all these questions are really giving y'all a better understanding. Thank you. Sometimes they get on my nerves since I'm here 24/7. John make an appearance in the vid. Yeah, John, let's see you. He said no. He's not ready. Video bomb right now. I know he is lame. Oh, there he is.
Oh God.
All right, let's see. What else? What else do y'all got for me? So there's a few questions on here that I'm gonna probably wait till the very end, and because it has to do with our families, and so I don't want to offend anybody right now, so I'd rather wait till the end. Okay, how can you tell if Silas is having a bad day or doesn't feel good? Okay, Katie, I will answer that question here in just a second. Okay. When Silas is having a bad day, you will know it when he wakes up, opens those big old brown eyes. Either he's smiling or he is just in a pissy mood. That's all I can say. Because he does not want nothing to do with nobody or anything. He just wants to sit in his beanbag and be left alone. So I hope that answered that, because man, and when he has a bad day, everybody else is just gonna have a bad day. Because he does not budge with anybody or anything for that matter. When does Silas not feel good? So he starts sleeping a lot. Whenever he starts sleeping a lot or he starts crying, we know that in the next few days either he's gonna get sick or like something's going on with him. But he'll sleep a lot, he'll cry, and a big red flag is he will not eat by mouth whenever that happens. And whenever he doesn't eat by mouth, I know he's about to get sick. And also he has a geographic tongue, which that is where it's like, I don't know how to explain it. There's like white on your tongue, like white lines on your tongue. That's how I know if he's gonna get sick or not. Okay. What sort of things are you guys working with Silas on at this time? We're working on a lot, actually. So he goes to physical, occupational, aqua, and equine therapy. And so in occupational and physical therapy, right now they're working with crawling, weight bearing, walking. They do a lot of stretching. Oh, and he does speech. I forgot that one. So really just, I guess, strength. And then in speech, we're working on communication, which I'm hoping once he gets a little bit better, I can show a video or do more of a video while we're there at therapy. But it is a little switch, it's a little round switch. Actually, let me go find it and I'll show y'all. That way everyone knows what I'm talking about. Okay, just kidding. I can't find it, and I don't want to turn his light on. But it's just a little circle, a little red circle. And so what his speech therapist is doing, he gives them 8 words to pick from, and like for example, they work with him, or he works with them on a swing, and so he'll start it, and he'll tell him, "Okay, Silas, say hello," and so his therapist will click the button. And so Silas has to find the word hello. And so, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Hopefully in the future we can do a video for that. And then in equine therapy, that's horseback riding, which that has been his absolute favorite. And he's been doing it since June. Oh, here it is. This is a switch. And it has a connector, but we don't have anything with it right now, so he just clicks it. So there's that. The equine therapy has helped him tremendously, I'd say. It's helped him with his core strength, with his trunk. It's helped open up his hips, because he does have hip issues. And so, yeah, if you have not seen the equine video on our page, go check it out, because it's super cool. And then aqua therapy, he is in a swimming pool. And so basically what she does is just helps him stretch. It really relaxes his muscles. And, you know, since he's in water, his body is a lot more, I guess the word is, would it be buoyant? Like floaty, I guess? I don't know if that's correct term or not. But yeah, he does that for, I think, 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Honestly, I don't even know, because we're in there and then we're out. And then what else does he do? I think that's it. So yeah, that's what we're working on right now. And he's doing really good. And then also to that question, here at home, we do what they do at therapy. The only thing is I don't really work with him on crawling, just because there's 2 therapists working with Silas at the same time. And so since I'm here all day by myself, it's kind of hard for me to help him do that. But whenever we are here, he gets in his stander, which I'm going to be posting a video about that. And so that one, that's actually pretty cool. And then we do a lot of weight bearing on the ground, and we play. He has some exercise balls that I stretch him on, and he does tummy time on. And then we work with the switch as well, but mainly to communicate with me. And sometimes he's just like, I don't want to do that. You just figure it out yourself, Mom. So that's what I do. Anything for him. All right. Hello to everybody that has joined. If y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them down. Also, there is a link down there for the GoFundMe page. We are raising funds to take Silas to get some intensive therapy done out of town or out of state, whichever one calls us first. And that's just going to help him progress a little bit better. Depending on what he needs is what he'll get. Because they can work with him with whatever, like therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, all that kind of stuff. So we would really appreciate it. And also too, those that have just joined, we will be doing a shirt fundraiser at the beginning of next month, and I have personally made those myself. And there's going to be 3 different types, and they're actually really nice. Okay, how do you feel, or how do you make time for a child like Silas and take care of another child? Like I said before, we just work around Silas, and that's basically what Raiden has had to do. We have to adapt to Silas's routine and his life, because if we make him go off of our schedule, our life will just be hectic. So if he's in a bad mood, then we don't go anywhere. Or if he's sick, we can't go anywhere. My family that is here, like my mom and my sister, they watch him for me. And so if I need to do something, I'll go drop him off and take Raiden with me, or vice versa. But it's not really, I guess since I don't work, it's not really that hard to make time. How has this affected you? That's actually a really good question. How has this affected me? Well, this is not the life that I would have chosen. I'm just gonna be straight out honest, but it was a life that I was given, and so I'm just going to appreciate it every single day and learn from it, which I have learned. Overall, those that know me personally, I used to be a really hateful person, I'd say, and just really mean. And having Silas, it's definitely has helped change me, I guess. I'm more patient. I'd say more humble. And yeah, it definitely was hard on myself. I did have to go get help because I was very depressed, and so yeah, that helped a lot. And also with John too. I mean, he could speak for himself, but I think it affected him more than it affected me. I feel like I can just adapt to the situation, even if it's hard, I guess. I don't know. It was really hard for me at first, because like I said, this is not what I was expecting for my life to be. How has it affected your social life? Jeez, I thought this was all about Silas, not me. And I'm just reading them as people have asked. So, how has it affected my social life? Well, I don't really have much friends. Ah, phone's going dead. I don't really have much of a social life, I guess. Or maybe I do, I'm not sure. Now that I'm going to like my community groups at church and stuff, that really helps. But when Silas was born, people were there for me and stuff like that. And then slowly it just started dwindling away. And people would tell me, hey, I need to go see you, or hey, we need to meet up for coffee, or whatever the case. I'm waiting. Those that are watching, I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. So I have 10%, and so I'm going to make these questions quick. Or actually, I'm going to answer like 3 more and then be done. So if you have any questions, type them down. Do you think Silas will walk? Yes, I do believe Silas will walk. And I have been declaring that since the day that he was born. People out there don't think he will walk because he can't see, but you are not God. You don't know that. But I'm just going to keep on saying, yes, he will walk. Even if it's with a walker. Who cares? He's walking. Has Silas lost any teeth yet? No, he hasn't lost any teeth yet. He does have one loose one, which I think is really cool. So we're just waiting for it to fall out. What is one of Silas's favorite things to do? Oh, I answered that earlier, but I'll answer it again. He likes to just pretty much chill. He got a beanbag, I guess a Christmas or 2 ago, and so he likes to chill on that. I have it all set up for him.
And movies.
And we go to movies. And recently we started walking outside with our dogs, and he really seems to enjoy that if it's not too hot. But he's pretty much of a homebody. If we have to do anything, it has to be in the morning. Because I say after 12 or 1, like, he's done. Like, he just wants to relax. Which I just answered somebody's question. Is he a morning or night person? He is a morning person for sure. Which I can be both. I can be a morning and night person, so I just adjust to whatever. But he wakes up at the crack of dawn, which lately he's been waking up at a decent hour at 7. But normally he wakes up between 4 and 6 in the morning. Whenever he does that, I just leave his little booty in his bed and turn on the TV and tell him I will be up in like an hour or so. What is Raiden doing? He's crying. That's what he's doing. And he don't have a bedtime. I've tried putting him in bed by himself, and he refuses to go to sleep by himself. He has to have me. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question, and I am going to be done, because there is like 10% on this one. But how has what happened to Silas affected y'all's family? Well, I can't really speak for everybody, because everybody has their own feelings. But what I can say, each and every one of my family members, it definitely has affected them. From being angry to being happy. There's still family members that have not quite accepted what has happened. But that's okay, because everybody copes with things differently, and it takes time for people to, I guess, mourn that. So it's okay. I mean, my family personally are there for me. So, I mean, I guess that's really all that matters. And they're there for him. They're his #1 supporter. So, yeah. All right, everyone. So, I hope you enjoyed these questions. If y'all have any more questions, feel free to message me or shoot them down below in the comments. And, yeah. If you have any more questions, I did a Q&A video before this one, so you can go check that out. But I hope y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all soon.